Hey guys, good morning everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrader.com weekend wrap-up show. Hope everybody is having a great weekend. We are in the final stretch of summer. That's it. We're in the final stretch of summer. I know my kids go to school within the next 2 weeks, and the market's kind of winding down. They're winding down. The market looks like it's kind of that last quote-unquote chicken without a head scenario, kind of just running around trying to make its mark on the world. But I find it very, very amazing that I think through all these years, when we talk about collecting data, I think a lot of the time when you collect data and you're really emphasizing on a really good bias. So, for example, for the last several weeks, for all you guys who have been watching this video. In this update, you know that I've been short biased, not bearish, but short biased, because again, collecting data, and that's everything we need to formulate an opinion, obviously, to incorporate our process to make some money. And all we've seen in the last several weeks was all the collecting of data, right? All the collecting of data. So again, when you see a market, for example, that everybody deems to be strong, but it randomly gives you 1.5% declines, kind of more times than not that you want to see in a bullish scenario, your eyebrows start to raise. You start to get more defensive. You start to get more into scalp mode instead of directional, until directional trade, until the confirmation plays itself out. And a lot of times people get confused with strong days with strong bias. And we've been talking about this now nonstop for about, I would even say more, about a month from now. And a lot of times when you're trading in a market that seems to be bullish, right? It seems to be bullish. Obviously, if you look at a long-term trend of the S&P 500, for example, you would see there's absolutely nothing wrong with the directional bias of what we're seeing. Again, even if you go back to all the way back to July, right? July of last year, and you go back into November during the election, again, you could draw the trend line. You could say to yourself, well, who cares? It's the day trader's problem, right? It's the day trader's problem. It's not our problem. It's not the investor's problem. What's the problem? Why are you so emphasizing on a day-to-day situation? Well, that's what I do. I trade day-to-day. Majority of us trade day-to-day. We can have a longer-term outlook, which I believe everybody will be on the same page. They'll see, look, if you bet on America, if you bet on the global economy, then of course long-term. What are we talking about long-term? 10 years, 20 years, 50 years from now? Yeah, can the S&P 500 5 years from now be at 5,000? Yeah, sure, absolutely. But again, we don't have crystal balls. We don't know what's going to happen in between now and S&P 5,000. So all we can do, again, is to put ourselves in a situation to win now. Win our interval, win our day, win our cycle, just win, right? Win our day, win our week, win our month, and win our year, and everything compounds. But in between that, there's gonna be a lot of different scenarios, a lot of moving parts, a lot of different macro news that hits the wires, and you're gonna be put in a tough situation, whether it's financially, emotionally, or anything else in between. That's going to kind of derail life a little bit. And as we all know, we don't live in a perfect world. As much as we love to think we do, we don't. And obviously I'm being sarcastic here, but that's kind of the reality. So where we see the market going is exactly what we've been talking about for now a month. Okay, I still think we go lower. Again, there is no evidence. Okay, there is no evidence to the contrary that's telling me different. Okay, so let's just kind of backtrack. So if you were watching the video last week, right? If you're new to the room or new to our live webinar, part-time trader program, whatever the case may be, I made every single point that we were going to go lower, that we're going to have a 2% drop, yada, 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 we had a 2% drop. And it wasn't because I guessed right, is because data. Again, collection of data is very, very important. What is the collection of data? Why is it making me think we're going lower? Well, number one, let's use our eyes, right? Using eyes is the greatest thing that we have. Let's use our eyes. So when you draw the trend line, just again, basic technical analysis. There's nothing more than basic technical analysis. When you draw the trend line, and again, you can't discount these 1.5%, 2% drops, but when you draw the trend line, every single time it hits the trend line, what happens? It doesn't confirm the trend line, it goes lower. So when we made the bottom, quote unquote bottom, the 2430 bottom, the S&P 500 on August the 21st, in my opinion, and we talked about it in the room, there was a very, very necessity type of atmosphere for the bulls to reclaim this trend line. And it had that big 1% move, right? Had the big 1% move that I thought it should have made in 2 days and made it 1 day. Okay, no big deal. So it made that 1% move. And then all throughout the week, the rest of the week, and you notice this was Tuesday, right? This was Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It had 3 days, okay? It had 3 full days to confirm the top of this channel and trade above this trend line, and it never did. And if you combine that, right, and if you combine that with 3 consecutive gap ups, and losing steam on all 3 consecutive gap ups, then again, your eyes and data doesn't lie. And it kind of cultivated the same way on Friday, right? If you look at the S&P 500 towards the end of the day, this does not show you that this is a good market. This is not a market that you're turning around and saying, well, you know what, people want to be long this market. Because if you look at what happened, right, if you look what happened the previous day, right, again, let your eyes be the key. Sell off into the close, right? This is the whole week. Sell off into the close. So my point is, your eyes are your best technical indicator. If you can't find longs, or at least longs that you want to be long more than 30 seconds, okay, and if you're still seeing wider spreads like we're seeing now for about a week and a half now on a stock like Tesla, despite it having that one really, really strong day, wide spreads, thin bids, blah, 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 blah. It's all data, guys. It's all data. And for all you new traders, it might not be obvious, but it's pretty damn obvious. So if you look at, for example, the 60-minute channels, right? These are all, remember, these are all 60-minute channels, right? Like, so for example, this is a channel of the video. On first sight, remember that this is going back from, just going back from the 23rd, 24th, the last 3 days of the week. So on this channel right here, does the stock look bullish or bearish? You don't need to answer that. You look at Facebook, for example. This is the last 3 days. Does the stock look bullish or bearish? Does Amazon look bullish or bearish? Again, right? Does Amazon look bullish or bearish? Does Tesla look bullish or bearish? So my point is, you don't need to be trading these stocks. You don't need to be trading these stocks. These stocks represent speculation money. Now, somebody's going to turn around to me and say, but Dan, look what happened with all these small cap stocks, right, this week. So you had your RTNB that was moving up and this and that. Listen, save the RTNBs for somebody else. I don't care about the RTNBs. I don't trade the RTNBs. Any stock that could take out the longs and the shorts all in one day. Listen, it's a casino. It's a casino. That's not trading. You might as well literally bet on preseason football games, right? What's the difference, right? You might as well bet on preseason football games. If you have a scenario that you could be in a trade, and I use the word trade very, very loosely, that could destroy the longs and the shorts all in one day, right? So are you really, really believing? Are you really, really believing the fact that this is something that makes you sleep really, really good at night, right? Big, big run up, really big, big down, big, big up, right? So again, you can make that argument, speculations in small cap as well. But for me, if the buyers are not coming in, especially in the options market, again, I'm not an options trader, but I can recognize if you're not putting bullish bets, out of the money bullish bets on a lot of the heavyweight tech sector, the beta darlings, then what is that telling you about the market? Now again, just full disclosure, I'm not calling for once again, I'm not calling for anything that's going to resemble Armageddon. I am not, the Grim Reaper. All I am is a realist. Again, all I trade is reality. I don't trade fantasy world. There's my reality and there's the reality that's actually happening. I'm trying to put both of them together, okay? And what I'm seeing here is definitely a bearish side of scenario. And that's how it happened. So what we've been doing is basically, for the exception of a couple of names that I've been holding, I've been basically scalping. Again, I don't think this is a directional bias market that you can turn around right now until we get that confirmation. I do believe confirmation will come this week. Okay, I do believe it, and I do believe we will test the bottom of the S&P 500. And if I'm wrong, again, like I say this all the time, I am going to be wrong theoretically, not financially. But then again, we do have a short bias trade on the overnight, and we'll discuss that in a second. So every single day on the video, on the nightly email, on the options flow report, we try to give everybody something, okay? I know a lot of you guys trade other things than high beta. I trade predominantly high beta. I do trade small caps sporadically from time to time. Ironically, my last 3 small cap trades have done pretty decent, okay? Have done pretty decent, but it's a scalping market right now until we get that confirmation channel below that 24.17. And if we do, then we have a directional bias trade going all the way down to the 150-day moving average, which is 23.87 on the S&P 500. That's going to obviously correlate with any trade that you are taking on the SPY ETF. So let's talk about Friday's session. Again, not bad at all. First of all, VERI, this was a swing we had on from Wednesday, right? Wednesday, this was a second day play. Again, these second day plays are so basic in concept, and a lot of people just don't follow up on them. Any single time you have a stock that puts in a ridiculous move one day and the next day it rests, it's probably going to more likely to not resume within the next day or so. And that's exactly what we did. We got long. I got long 1198 on VERI, and I sold my last small little shares at 1540 on Friday. I know a lot of you guys held that with me as well. So good move. I mean, what else are you gonna say? Good move. I'm still holding. Talking about some names. I'm still holding. I'm still holding APDN. I've been in this thing for like a week and change now. I'm long at $1.97. Still have about half size. I sold last week from 212 to 215. Stock is just holding its trend line. Hopefully this week it'll take out to 220 and go. So that's doing very, very well. It's doing well. CHMA is something I bought Thursday at $1.95. Okay, I bought this thing at $1.95. I sold half at 215. I sold half at 215 on Friday, and it looks great. Hopefully it'll give me a test of this 240 level this week, and then hopefully I'll sell a little more, and then hopefully hold the rest. So this one is doing pretty well as well. Other names off the watch list on Friday, PDLI. And again, my point is we're not looking for momentum. We're looking for confirmation pivots via the 60-minute channel or the 60-minute move, 60-day move to confirm that confirmation to make it hot. So PDLI, again, right off Thursday's video, 288 break. Stock went to 304, exactly where I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to go to 306, went to 304 based on the upward channel. This was the big miss for me. Baidu, okay? This was the huge miss for me. We had Baidu off our watch list for like a week, okay? Off this 227 break. I missed it. Somebody came in and took all the liquidity right in front of me, literally right in front of me. And they just jammed the stock up $3, and I literally wanted to physically vomit. I literally wanted to physically vomit. That was the trade of the day, and I missed it. I know some of you guys did get that trade, but I definitely missed it. Nice call on Apple by LT. Again, LT has just been absolutely on fire. And then Netflix. There was two plays on Netflix. The second one we'll talk about in a second. There was a first play on Netflix. I shorted this thing on a scalp. I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of room in it. I shorted the 67 break, and it went down to right to the channel, right to the bottom channel. It was like I think I made 25, 30 cents on the trade. It wasn't anything big because I knew it was supposed to bounce. And then we reshorted Netflix because I think Netflix is going to go lower. Shorted in the 66.20s and then in the 65.80s. And the stock after the close traded all the way down to 65.50. The big number on Netflix this week is going to be the 64.23 level. If it breaks below that 64.23 level, I think it resets right here at the 161 level. Again, we'll see what happens there, but hopefully we'll see a lot of weakness in the futures this evening, and hopefully we'll get a nice gap down. I know a lot of us are short the stock, so hopefully you guys will do very, very well. Hopefully Netflix will turn into our favor. So everything is telling me we're going lower. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see exactly if this plays out. But for all the main, for every single piece of data that I'm getting, again, lack of follow through the S&P 500. Getting rejected off the trend line. Again, somebody's going to turn around and say, well, the IWM was strong on Friday. Well, yeah, the IWM was strong on Friday because we're talking about a lot of people placing bets that finally there would be some sort of small company tax relief that they would benefit. But again, if you look at the IWM, it's been below the 50-day moving average, below the 100-day moving average, and just basically bouncing right back to the 200-day supply. So is there really anything there that you really want to stake a claim to, to have a bullish thesis? Again, I'm not a bull, I'm not a bear, I'm a realist. I trade what's in front of me. Fortunate enough, Hurricane Harvey that really shot up, oil prices, into the potential landing. Again, obviously, hopefully everybody still is safe. in Texas, but it really, they did downgrade it. I believe last time I saw it was from category 4 to like a tropical storm or category 1. So knock on wood, it wasn't as horrific as first thought, knock on wood. But always, again, it's always side on precaution. It did, I think I read it, it gave up to like 30 inches of rain, which is insane. So hopefully all our friends from that region area are safe. So let's get into Monday's action and see exactly what we like. Again, first of all, let me give you guys some notable pivots. SPY, if it pivots below 243.75, that was Wednesday's low that held the 5-day. Again, not a lot of people really look at the 5-day for guidance. I do, because for me it indicates a short-term potential sentiment bias. So I don't. Obviously it's not as big as the 50-day or the 100-day or the 150 to 200-day, but it gives me a lot of more clues, additional clues to the short-term bias. So guys, watch that 243.75 level on the SPYs for a possible turn to the 100-day back to 241.75. Amazon just can't get out of its own way. Amazon just can't get out of its own way. If there is, if there is a big turn on Amazon, if there's a big turn on Amazon, it's going to come below this 941 level. If Amazon gets below this 941, it should test this 931. So for all your option players, definitely get your ducks in a row. 941 breakdown with future slide can see 10 points to the 150-day moving average. Look at Facebook. Facebook looks terrible. Facebook looks terrible, guys. I know not the greatest trading stock, no doubt. It has a lot of hiccups, but I will say this much. If Facebook gets below the 65.80 level, you could get a move to the 50-day moving average, which is roughly around the 162 level. Again, Netflix, we have a short bias, obviously, and if it confirms below 164.23, if you're not short, if it bases below the 164.23 level, you could see a move back to the 161 level, which is the 100-day supply. Urban Outfitters, amazing. Urban Outfitters, bucking the whole retail trend. Big move on Friday, back above its earnings high. It stopped right on supply here in the 150-day moving average. If tomorrow it confirms above this 21.75 area, you could get to the next supply zone of roughly 22.85. Very strong stock in a very beat up group. RDNT. Again, big move, man. I really don't follow the stock, but really nice move, especially from the lows of April. Nice move here. You got this nice flag here with a lower volume, which is very bullish. Again, when you have down days, you have smaller volume days. When you have up days, you have bigger volume days. So keep an eye on this thing. If it breaks above 10.05, a nice looking chart there. And VERI, I think we have to watch again. It rested on Friday. Congratulations to you guys who took that swing. Great trade. I mean, 3.5 points on a $15 stock, on a $12 stock. Not too shabby. If those of you guys don't know the background behind this, it all started a week ago in Barron's, highlighting artificial intelligence, mentioning Veri by name, and the stock had a big run up. Look at the float. I don't know if this is accurate or not. 4 million shares, but it's close to it. Keep an eye on it this week. Just set an alert for it, guys. We might have to jump back into this thing if the market holds up above this 1570 level. If it does, who knows? Maybe you get 20 bucks on this thing. Again, 4 million share float with a directional bias, with a little bit of juice behind this, small catalyst and the whole industry. It could work. So, guys, have a great remainder of your Sunday. Get focused. And by the way, it was so funny. I got a bunch of emails from yesterday. For all you guys don't know, I hurt my back. I hurt my back and my neck, and I was like, literally on bed rest. And the ironic part is, I'm 43 years old. Ironic, I did nothing to do this. So it's just aging sucks. It really does. Aging sucks. You have to really take care of your body. But ironically, I hit the send button. I hit the send button yesterday on the nightly email, and I didn't put in. There was nothing in there. The only thing that was the option flow. So for all you guys who got it yesterday, I got a bunch of emails say, hey, Dan, you forgot the video. Not only forgot the video, but I did it accidentally. I didn't even put it in the watch list. So you'll get a second one there today. So guys, for all you guys who are joining us tomorrow via the live webinar, video link goes out at 8 a.m. Eastern time, followed by morning strategy at 9 a.m. So all you folks on Facebook and Twitter and Stock Twits and everybody who's sharing us on YouTube. Have a great remainder of your Sunday. Have an awesome trading week, and God bless you. Have a great day.